deal with airplane peanuts.
Kill Tony 726 has already gone down as an instant classic episode in the show's 11-year history after Adam Ray's Oscar-worthy performance as the clone of Tony Hinchcliffe got things off to a hilarious start.
Give it up for Tony Hinchcliffe! Who's ready for the best night of their lives? Make some noise for Brian Redband, everybody. And make some noise for the best goddamn band in the land. Oh my God. Unbelievable. Oh yeah. Oh my God. We're really doing it, Red Band. Every Monday, we're doing it live.
After seeing the posters for this episode on Kill Tony's Instagram leading up to their YouTube premiere, my first guess was that this was going to be Kyle Dunnigan dressed as Tony Hinchcliffe and the real Tony would bring him out to join the panel at the beginning of the show like normal. Just because it seems like they have a more similar body type and demeanor, but it's actually nuts how much they made Adam Ray look like Tony Hinchcliffe. It really almost seems like his whole face and body structure was completely changed in impossible ways. Shout out to his makeup artist Jennifer Aspinall for doing a tremendous job. And it was also crazy just how well Adam nailed all of Tony's typical movements, from the facial expressions to the way he smoked his cig. This unironically might be Adam Ray's funniest character yet, and it would be even funnier if he started going on other podcasts as Tony Hinchcliffe the same way he does with Dr. Phil and Jeremy.
Unbelievable.
Kill Tony has really turned into the perfect platform for comics to play with these different characters to the point where it really is becoming the WWE of stand-up comedy, with new people joining and leaving the cast, different challenges and ultimatums, dramatic storylines, and full-on rivalries. Even the way Tony Hinchcliffe chose to enter this episode literally could not be more pro wrestling.
Everyone here at the mothership is being groomed to...
I finally work hard enough and save up enough money to buy my own clone of myself. And then you lock me inside of my own closet and try to host my show?
You got it.
Puerto Rico's not gonna like this.
The fact that he made up the backstory of Adam being a clone that locked him in his closet not only sounds like the perfect setup for a gay joke about Tony, but is also a very intentional choice to create the most electric moment possible, even though everyone watching obviously knows what he's saying isn't true. Which again is a very WWE type move and makes sense coming from the mind of Tony Hinchcliffe, who not only is a notorious wrestling fan, but also fully contemplated writing for the WWE at the beginning of his comedy career.
Somebody wanted to talk with me. They heard that I was a pro wrestling fan, and I just destroyed at this meeting, and I gave them a bunch of crazy ideas that I just had in the back of my head forever. Stuff for The Undertaker to do, stuff for this, stuff for that. I killed it at this meeting, and they offered me a full-time job, but at the time I was already 3, 4, 5 years into stand-up comedy and working at the store. I devoted everything to stand-up comedy. So there's no way I could go backwards, especially for like a job with a boss and bosses and word on the street. Like Patrice O'Neal, a great comedian, took the job, and famously anybody who takes the job, they're like, it's hell.
By far one of the coolest, best, and most chaotic moments from this entire episode was when Kill Tony legend and Joke World Arena correspondent Karen Jones came face to face with Ari Shaffir's ballsack during an insanely unhinged interview.
Put her in the arena!
This might be my favorite bucket pull of all time.
I know. She is a legend. She is a legend in Kill Tony.
Well, you probably missed me talking about your ball sack on Joke World, but you're...
What?
No,
What the
Ari, last time I was in here, I saw his balls. Well, I wasn't in here. It was in L.A., actually. I was doing interviews for Joke World, And I've actually seen them a few times now. And I said, if I were you, I would keep them in my pants because my husband is 73 years old and he has better looking balls and the whole deal. My husband looks better.
What the fuck is
Just
going
a
on?
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Oh no.
Oh my God.
Oh no.
Oh my God.
There they are. Oh, Jesus.
My God.
My husband. Yeah, that's awful.
Oh.
My.
Oh
my God. Oh.
Oh my
God.
Happy Pride!
It's nothing I haven't seen before.
Yoni, cancel my Postmates order.
What was your reaction to Ari's balls?
The same as it always is. I've seen his genitalia probably more than I've seen my own husband's, for sure, this last year I have. But that said, every time I see Ari's balls, I think, my husband is 20 years older than that man and has better looking testicles.
If you want to watch our new full interview with Karen Jones breaking down her most recent appearance on Kill Tony and her experience with Ari's sack, head over to patreon.com/jokeworld and use code J6Granny for 50% off. But anyway, it feels safe to say this was a Mount Rushmore episode for Kill Tony. Just a funny idea executed at a high level to the point where it seemed like everyone on stage was visibly cracking up for 2 hours straight. Episode 726 went so well that you'd have to assume anyone thinking like Vince McMahon would plan on bringing this character back eventually. The Adam Ray and Shane Gillis Trump Biden characters have already returned multiple times since their smashing debut episode last July, and were even utilized for the first of 3 Kill Tony Netflix installments. Which means there might be a chance we see phony Hinchcliffe again, maybe even with Kyle Dunnigan as Tony number 3 to really keep upping the ante. Although nothing has been confirmed yet, it seems like Netflix's next Kill Tony episode might be being filmed at Madison Square Garden on August 16th.
We will see you at Madison Square Garden, and that episode will be on a large streaming platform. Have fun, everybody. God bless you, and God bless the United States of America. Thank you. Good night, everyone.
Guest spots from last week. The Joe Rogan Experience sat down with Amjad Masad and Roman Yampolsky. Two Bears, One Cave was Bert and Tom and Bert. Are You Garbage was joined by Becky Lynch. The Legion of Skanks welcomed Chris Stanley, Chris Fega, and Zach Amico. Asif Ali stopped by Tiger Belly. Tom Segura was on We Might Be Drunk. History expert Benjamin Hetch was on Camp Gagnon. Joe List and Sarah Talamash were on You Be Trippin'. Alexander Volkanovsky was on Flagrant. Brandon Rogers was on Right Now. Story Wars was a battle between Vinny Guadagnino, Cam Patterson, and Mike Feeney. And of course, Mark Normand, Ari Shafir, and Cloney Hinchcliffe were all on Kill Tony.
Have you always looked like Adam Ray with AIDS?
Yeah, you throw a vest on,
Good
we got
question.
a third Tony here.
Unfucking believable.
Francisco, what have you been up to since the last time we
Been
saw
up
you?
to?
Give us something good.
Funny because last time I did the show, I had just recently gotten fired. And I just got fired again.
Wow. Look at you.
I know.
Look at you. What'd you get fired from?
Hey, that's what I was going to ask. You're a genius. And you're extremely good looking.
Glennie Balls and Dr. David Linder visited this past weekend with Theo Von. Jim Norton was on co-host Wanted. Giannis Pappas sat in the way back. Giannis also sat on the couch with Soder. Ari Maddie stopped by the Honeydew. PDUSA was on Whiskey Ginger. Doughboys and Arden Murrin were on Next We Have. You Know What Dude featured Steph Tolev. Sagday DePod had on Steve Renazizi. Tim and Mike were back together on Dad Meat. David Faraday hit the links on No Bad Lies. Farrah Abraham went on First Date. Carrie Kenny Silver broke bread with Tom Papa. Bobby Moynihan took a ride on the Harland Highway. And Tuesdays with Stories, The Tim Dillon Show, Chrissy Chaos, Son of a Boy Dad, History Hyenas, The Solid Show, Chubby Behemoth, Stuff Island, Rough Week, Bad Friends, and The Duncan Trussell Family Hour all did not have guests. As far as brand new stand-up comedy specials that are either out right now or coming out soon, Nate Jackson's Super Funny is out right now on Netflix, and out on YouTube is Drew Lynch, The Stuttering Comedian, Mike Vecchione, Low Income White, and Jeffrey Asmus, 63 Minutes of Great Comedy.
You guys think people get offended too easily these days? Yeah, okay, keep that in mind during this next one. It's one of the great jokes of our time. Have you guys seen this last couple years in Florida? These politicians, they're censoring the books in elementary schools. They're like taking the books out of the libraries. They're like, these books contain child porn. They're inappropriate to children. They contain child porn. Call me crazy, but aren't children the only people who should be reading child porn? Isn't that kind of the target demo? If they're not reading it, then why am I filming it, folks? What a waste of my Saturdays. What a waste of my Saturdays.
We also have a few projects that are in the works right now and will be coming out soon. Starting on July 11th, when Danny Rovira, It's Worth It, comes out on Netflix. 1 week later, also on Netflix, is Verdas Fool's Volume. On July 21st, we have Joe DeRosa, I Never Promised You a Rose Garden, premiering on YouTube. And on July 29th, Dusty Slay's second Netflix special, Wet Heat, debuts on their platform as well. And not technically stand-up specials, but Josh Johnson released his weekly stand-up set per usual over on his channel. We also had Uncle Laser, Jamar Neighbors, Dylan Sullivan, and Darius Bennett on the new episode of Roast Battle, and Dr. Phil Live uploaded their show from Detroit with David Lucas and Jacob Barr. And last but not least, Bert Kreischer and Netflix recently announced plans for a 6-episode pilot series titled Free Bert that will be filmed this summer in Atlanta. And with the creation of this sitcom happening at the same time, Tom Segura will be filming his new movie El Tigre in New Mexico. Bert and Tom officially announced that Chris Stefano and Stavros Halkias will be replacing them for the rest of the summer on New Bears One Cave.
You guys are going to be doing some guest episodes for us, so everyone here is excited.
Yes, I'm pumped to do it with, I believe I'm with Stavros.
Yeah, perfect.
And I'm also happy to be on FaceTime with Bert Kreischer's feet.
Yeah, there they are.
So we're gonna every week we're gonna send you guys 5 talking points we want to hear you guys talk about, and then you can talk about whatever.
Amazing, dude. I'm going to do all that, and then I'm going to yell fucking lightning strike at the end of every episode.
How was the 4:30 show in Atlantic City?
The 4:30 show in Atlantic City was what we like to call in the business a mistake.
That's all the comedy news we have for you this week. But before we go, I just want to give a huge thank you to everybody who joined the Joke World Patreon after watching last week's video. You guys fucking rule. Thank you so much again. Congratulations on a great investment. I'm sure all your family and friends will be very proud of, very jealous of. This is huge news in your life, so congrats. Seriously. For those of you that don't know what I'm talking about, who have never heard of the Joke World Patreon, maybe check out the video on the end screen right after this.
At Joke World. That's it, at Joke World.
And the world is WRLD.
That's a great YouTube channel, Joke World. Check it out.